Hey guys, it's Alex again, here to talk at you with some more stupid stuff that I say. This is a little thing I like to call Alex Talks. If you don't know what Alex Talks is, where have you been? I don't know what you're doing on the internet. Clearly, this is where it's at. Alex Talks is a video series that I do by myself in the solemn aloneness that is my bedroom, where I have a TV that says Rational Passions, rationalpassions.com, don't forget to check it out, and I talk at you with a topic that I have not prepared anything to say anything about, clearly with my well-spokenness. Today I wanted to talk about two things, specifically, well, I don't know why I do this, two characters, and it's, I think the proper title for this would be Alex Talks, characters that I care about, because, you know, everyone cares about different characters. If you're Greg Miller, you love Elena Fisher. If you're Alex, you love Reese Kujikawa. So we're going to talk about two specific characters that I think are probably my two favorite characters in video games. The first, which I've already mentioned, Reese Kujikawa. I know I'm going to get the judgment of the world, specifically from my two co-hosts, Nabashin and Tony, because they hate Reese. I don't know why. She's awesome. So, if you don't know where Reese is from, Persona 4 and Persona 4 Golden stars one character, one of the party members that you acquired, Reese Kujikawa. She is a diva, pop idol type character. So, if you played the JRPG, you kind of know that archetype already. But she's different, and that's why I really like her. So, you go through her this is going to have spoilers for Persona 4 and Persona 4 Golden. If you have yet to play them, go do that right now. So, I love Reese. She's great. She's a lot like me in a lot of ways, which is one of the reasons why I love her so much. She's dope, for lack of a better word. And she is always my love interest in Persona 4. So, here's the story of Reese. She is a diva, pop star, blah, 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 that whole thing. But she's kind of stressing out about this life, and she feels like she's forgotten why she did this in the first place, and she forgot why she loves this, why she's putting all this stress on her. And so she runs away from that. She returns to Inaba, which is the small town that Persona 4 takes place in. And she goes back to her grandmother's tofu shop and starts working there and trying to get away from this pop idol scene. And you find her, and, you know, she seems really solemn. She gets thrown in the TV world, and you go after her, and you see this really scantily clad, sexy strip club type place, and that's her level. And when you get to her, her shadow, which is her inner self, is like, I'm going to bear it all. I want everyone to see the real me, and then it implies that is, you know, her completely naked. So this is, to go into my love of Persona, this is one of the reasons why I love Persona so much, specifically Persona 4. The idea is that each character has a shadow, and the shadow is a reflection of themselves in a different light. And that is, you know, it's their true intentions or their suppressed feelings, so to speak. So Rise's shadow is like, I'm going to bear it all for everyone. But the hidden meaning behind that, because each shadow kind of has a subtext that you have to pick up on, is that Rise feels like no one actually knows who she is. And I think the anime, the Persona 4, the animation, actually captures this a bit better. There are a bunch of different Rises, all wearing different clothes and all acting differently. And she doesn't know which Rise is the real Rise. And when she accepts her shadow and when she defeats it, she realizes that they're all a part of her, and they all represent a different part of her, but together they all make the one real Rosette, and that's who she is, even though she likes to suppress it. So I relate to this on a personal level, and I'm going to get into that. If you're afraid of things that get personal, then oh boy, you better buckle up, my friend. So I feel like, you know, there are a bunch of different Alexes. Obviously, everyone acts differently around, depending on the people that they're around, and for me, I think that applies very heavily. There are different faces of Alex and different Alexes that behave. There's the Alex that you hear on the Irrational Passions podcast, which I'd like to think is, you know, the Alex that I put here and the Alex that I put out to everyone that I know and my friends and my family. But, you know, you can't help but think that there are different ways that you behave, at least in my case, around, you know, your family, your friends, your different friends, and your different, you know, groups of people that you spend time with. So that was just something that I related on a personal level. So when you get to know Reese and you go through her social link, it's you know, it's a real thing. She is so real to me because it's like, you know, I forgot why I love doing this thing. You know, that's what she's struggling. And, you know, you help her rekindle her interest in that. And that, you know, there was a time in my life, when I started playing Persona 4, I had a disease called chronic fatigue syndrome, and I still do, and I still struggle with that. And it causes, you know, different fluctuations of my personality on occasions. And at some point in my life recently, when I had to take a break from the podcast, for our longtime listeners that might remember, I had clinical depression, and it was like a moment in my life where I lost touch of why I love video games, and that, you know, video games are such a focal point in my life because I circulate this writing and this podcast, and, you know, my week is circulated around it. And I lost touch with why I loved that, and I wanted to escape from it. And I was running away from what I really now believe that helped me the most. You know, the podcast is what brought me back. So what got me back on my feet, excuse me. And my co-hosts are, you know, that's what got me on my feet in Persona 4. You, the character, are what get Reese back on her feet and remind her why she loved doing this thing. And I think, you know, the way they kind of weave that tale and the way it felt so real to me because it was real to me and it's happened to me and is still a real thing that I have struggled with. And there's a dark part of my life that I have to live with and remember because of that. And it is, you know, it's in a personal attachment there. And I really admire that character. I cherish that character. My relationship with that character that I experienced through that game is real to me as any other relationship. And I'm not like afraid to admit that. I think, you know, a game doing that is a fucking incredible thing. And other games should take note. And I've said this in the past about Persona 4. I think that game is incredible. And I think there's a very good reason why it sits atop my favorite games of all time list. Because it is the relationships and the characters that they build in that game are the best characters of any game I've ever played. And I still firmly believe that. Now, the other character I want to talk about is a more recent character. Her name is Ellie, and she's from The Last of Us. If you would not like minor spoilers from The Last of Us, then I would ignore this. I would say if you have not finished The Last of Us, I'm going to talk about things that happen up until the beginning of fall. So if you play the game, you know what I'm talking about. Ellie is an incredible character. I relate to her on a very personal level as well. And this is a completely different relation. She's Ashley Johnson, wherever you are, holy shit, you did an incredible job portraying that character. From the motion capture, which, again, holy shit, you did an incredible job with that, to the voice acting. You know, and the same goes for Joel and Troy Baker. It was, you know, the two stars of that game are fantastic. And yeah, like, holy shit. I can't imagine any other two actors doing those two roles better. So yeah, props to Ashley Johnson for creating this really real character to me. So Ellie at the end of, summer, you know, you meet up with, the two characters, Sam and Henry. I did not just look it up in case you were curious. Just, you know. So you meet up with Sam and Henry and you have their little story. And at the end, you have this moment where Sam and Ellie are talking. And they discuss, religion. Sam, you know, says that Henry said that all the people that got infected, they're dead now and they've gone to heaven. And, or he says that they've gone on, and Ellie says, yeah, they've gone to heaven. And Sam says, you don't really believe that. And Ellie says, I mean, I'd like to, but I guess in the end, I don't. Which, at that moment, when I was playing that game, tears are dripping down my face. And that was the only point I cried in that game. And the reasoning is that Ellie had put into words how I feel about religion. This is, again, we're going down a personal road. she put into words how I feel about religion better than I could have ever put into words myself. So it was a moment. It was a real moment where that character was me. And it was just like, if someone had said that to me and said, like, you don't really believe that though, don't you? I would have said the same thing. I would have said, I would really like to, but I guess at the end of the day, I just don't. And that moment was incredible. It is that moment is the largest contributing factor to the reason why that is my game of the year right now. Because I did not expect to feel such an emotional reaction from those characters in any moment. It was a powerful moment for me. It was a moment where I, as the player, as a human being, felt like I grew up a little because I played this game. Like, I realized I learned something about myself, and it was incredible. It was a moment. Like, there's no other way to describe it. It was dope. It was a moment of realization for me, and that's an irreplaceable thing, and that's going to be an irreplaceable memory that connects me to The Last of Us for the rest of my life. Because that is, that's how I feel. That's how I feel, but I could never put it into words before. And now I can, because of that. Because of Ellie. Because she represented me so truly in the game space and in that world. And yeah, it was incredibly powerful. I'm like, why can't other characters show and have and feel such real feelings like Ellie did for me in that moment? Why can't that just be done? Like Naughty Dog just fucking pulled it off like it was nothing. It was incredible. And yeah, fuck, man. That game is so dope. And I know people are going to laugh at me for using the word dope to describe it, but there's no other way. It was so amazing. It was such an amazing moment. And it's like those two moments, or the moment with Ellie and the extended series of moments with Reese are what, that's what keeps me coming back. Why do I play video games? Well, for moments like that, where I feel like I learned something about myself when I play a game. And that is exactly what happened with those two characters, with those two games. And fucking irreplaceable. I would not want to do anything else in my life other than do this, talk about video games, play video games, because of stuff like that. And that's going to stick with me forever. And you know what? If you have had any moments like that where you're like, this character is like, this is like the analogy of me in video game space, let me know. Tell me in the comments below. Tweet at me at lfighter27. I would love to know, please. And if you felt the same about Reese or Ellie, then please, that would be awesome if you let me know. If you have an idea for something I can talk about here on Alex Talks, then let me know. Tweet at me or tweet at Irrational Pond, and I will totally get back to you. And I'll write it down on my queue of things to talk about on the show. And if you like this, please like it, because then other people will see it, and share it with your friends, because then other people will see it again, and subscribe, because there's gonna be more of it coming. I am almost done with this first season of Alex Talks, and I'm probably gonna take a couple months off, but we still got a couple weeks left of this. So if you want more of this gaming goodness, talking discussionness, then please subscribe and let us know. And hopefully we'll find out some other kind of YouTube show to start figuring out. And also, an aside, Navish and I just finished our first Game or Die. We both played through Deadly Premonition together. I played it, and Navish watched. Now we need to find a new game to play through together on stream. And we need something that Navish can play and I can watch him play. So if you have any ideas for that, let us know. I'm at alfighter27. He's at Navishin186. So please tweet us and let us know. And you know what? If you guys keep watching, I'm going to keep talking. Peace, guys. Tony, I'll have it swipe in over here. Tony Horvath, co-host of Rational Passions Podcast, gave me the sass on Facebook. As soon as the video goes up, he just posts Alex records video about Irrational Passions, doesn't mention Tony or Nabishin at all. I see how it is. Oh, do you, Tony?